This
Installation part.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm talking as I was talking about Citrix Zen server, so that is nowadays known as a Citrix hypervisor. Okay, so my lab is built up on that one Citrix hypervisor. People can build a lab on any kind of hypervisor, but as I told that this is the one which is very easy to manage, easy to install, and even it doesn't take much resources as well. Okay, so that's why I choose this one always. And to access any kind of hypervisor, that's the same way. Either it's Hyper-V or your VMware or your Citrix hypervisor. Similar way, like wherever you have your hypervisor, okay, you have to just browse the IP address of your browser hypervisor. So this IP 192.168.1.11, this ID belongs to my hypervisor. Okay, and this one I'm browsing from here, and then you can see here I'm getting an option to get Zen Center. As I told, Zen Center is a console to manage the Citrix hypervisor. Okay, so the moment when you will click over here, you will get the Citrix Zen Center .msi file to get installed. That's it. Once you will install that Zen Center, it will appear like this over here, and then you can manage multiple Zen server from one Zen Center. Similarly, like how people do in VMware, same way they browse the IP address of their VMware ESXi server from here, and then they got a vSphere client access from there, and obviously VMware is a 3 mode hypervisor, so they need to set up a vCenter server also in between. So, but the way to access any kind of hypervisor, it's the same thing. Now, in this particular Zen Center over here, let me make you familiar with this first. This is Zen Center where we can manage multiple Zen servers, but not VMware E6i. Any kind of console, guys, doesn't support cross-platform hypervisor environment. Any kind of console. Okay. If you ask me that, okay, can I manage VMware ESXi from Zen Center? No. Can I manage Zen Center from vSphere client? No. Okay, so you could have multiple hypervisor in your environment. That's not a big deal. People generally keep that also in bigger, in bigger project. But it's not something that you can make a cluster in one um, console. Okay, so vendor-wise, it is supposed to be managed separately. So if we are talking about Citrix, need to be managed by Zen Center. If we are talking about VMware, need to be managed by vSphere client, like that.
Kumar, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Are you telling like inside the Citrix hypervisor,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we can't install any another sorry, we I didn't get
No,
the
no.
point clear here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Only
That's right.
Citrix.
And no. It's not about inside Citrix hypervisor. Okay. It's about that about this particular console, about this Zen Center. Okay, let me do one thing. Just a second, guys. Don't worry. You will get clear understanding what I'm trying to say. So I'm sending one pic on our WhatsApp group, guys. Okay, just have a look with more clarity. Okay, on our WhatsApp admin group, can you just check, please, everybody? I sent one pic.
Yes, okay, I
Yeah.
got the picture.
Okay, so this is my bare metal box. Okay, where I have a Zen server. Okay, like that, I could have multiple metal box, right? So if I have 5 bare metal box, obviously I could have 5 hypervisors. right? Now,
Hmm.
what I'm trying to say is, if all 5 hypervisor are Citrix hypervisor, then I can manage from one console itself, from one Zen server.
Oh, got it.
Okay. Yeah, but if let's say out of 5, 3 are VMware ESXi, one is Hyper-V, one is Zen server, then I can't manage from one. Then for VMware, I need a VMware specific console, which is vSphere client. Correct. For Microsoft
Yes, got it.
Hyper-V, I need a SCC VM. So like that, similarly, I need vendor specific. That's what I'm saying. Clear?
Ah, clear, Kunal.
Okay.
Then mostly any environment is using Citrix hypervisor because normally
Uh,
our organizations are using
generally,
like VMware
I will tell you, generally
and Citrix.
people maintain a hybrid structure. Okay. So suppose they have 5, let's say uh, 5 hypervisor they have. So might be they would keep 3 VMware and 2 Zen server. Another reason of using Zen server, Citrix is providing free of cost this Zen server license if you are using Zen desktop and Zen app and PVS from them. So that is the another big advantage which is going on from the Citrix and to the people who are taking big licenses or more number of licenses for Zen desktop. So that's another reason why people are using this as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But as such, there is no because if you come feature wise, definitely ESXi is on the top level in hypervisor category. If you come to the feature wise, okay, it's highly loaded. Okay, but if you come with the easy handling and the management perspective, then Zen server is quite interactive to have a look as well. So that there's a huge gap coming to the picture. But obviously, and ESXi is much expensive than Zen server also. So there are pros and cons over there. So it totally depends on the environment to environment. If people think that okay they can work on Zen server kind of hypervisor, whatever feature they are giving that is more than enough for us, then it's fine. There is no need to go like on VMware. So that's why. So it's totally depend on what vendor is providing and what you are looking for. If you fit in that category, it's perfectly fine. Otherwise, you can take another alternative as well. Clear?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So here, this is use add a server over here. Here we add a multiple means your hypervisor. So you can provide your hypervisor IP address over here. Like in my case, I added 192.168.1.11, which is my internal IP address for my hypervisor, and here the credential for my hypervisor, and then it will be added. That's it. Okay. So in this way, you can add multiple Zen servers over here if you have. Now, guys, multiple Zen server or I would say a group of Zen server in uh, Zen Center is known as a pool, POOL pool, as you can see here. Okay. This is similar like in ESXi, group of ESXi servers in VMware is known as cluster. Similarly, here we see it as a pool. Okay. In one pool, every time there would be one master Zen server. Okay. The first Zen server in a pool will be treated as a master Zen server. So it would be, you can say, like a team lead in your particular project or in your project in your particular team. Okay, where that team lead will guide you what is something you have to do next, and further communication he will do for you guys, maybe to another team members, maybe to managers. So he will be like a mediator kind of stuff. So similarly here as well, whenever you make a pool, let's say you have 5 or 6 Zen servers, and now you made one pool. So out of them, first Zen server, whatever you added, because you have to add one by one. So first Zen server will become a master of that pool. Now, whatever communication need to go out from your pool, that master Zen server will take the responsibility. Even in Zen desktop, when we will make a host connection, we will provide the master Zen server IP address over there. So from Zen desktop perspective, we will communicate to the master Zen server. Now it is the task of master Zen server to divide the load among further members of its team. Okay, so similar concept over here. So if you go for a new pool, you see here master. So the moment when you will add a new Zen server over here, automatically whatever the first Zen server you have, that will become a master. So guys, I think somebody asked me this question, maybe I think Noor, when we were doing the theory class, that in VMware, we have a vCenter server which can manage multiple ESXi. So how it works in Zen server, because it is just two mode structure. So the answer is master Zen server. Okay. So in VMware ESXi, multiple ESXi servers can be managed, can be commanded by vCenter server. Similarly, over here, multiple Zen server can be managed through master Zen server. So the moment when you will make one pool, then obviously one master server will be there, and that master Zen server will be treated as a, what do you say, it will manage your complete pool itself. Whatever information need to go in and out, it will be clear, guys. This concept, pool concept. Any doubt?
Pool is like more than more than one server we can manage.
Yeah,
Uh,
correct.
okay, one server will be the like master
Master.
pool or the head of pool. Correct.
Correct. Yes, yes.
Maybe okay.
Similar concept. Okay. Now, the moment you have a server over there, or you can say even with one Zen server also you can make a pool. Like I have here only one Zen server, but I made a pool over there. Okay. So this is your Zen server. Okay. I gave a name over there. This is my Zen server. Now, whatever the stuff you can have a look over here. This is the general part. Okay, like description for that, and blog description for how long this sensor is being up and running. You can see over here UUID and all. License detail, you can see like if you have any kind of license attached with this. So obviously you can see over here what kind of version you are working on. Whatever I'm showing you guys, this is nothing to do with Zen Desktop. Okay, don't make any confusion. This is just for Zen server. Okay, nothing else. So I want you to just have a not in-depth knowledge of Zen server, but at least you should know how to manage the console. That's it. Okay. So from here you can say whatever the CPU and all those things you have. So this is the status of it. Now memory, you can see here. So as I told that in my Zen server, I have total 16 gig of memory. Okay, so you can see. So out of 16, it is showing you 15.2, and currently used by hypervisor, how much it is? Just 1 GB. This is the beauty of Zen server, guys, which I was telling that it consumes very less resources, and like you can take further, because so features are less, but that is something which is capable enough to do your day-by-day activity. Okay. So now, right now, whatever virtual machines are there on my hypervisor, all are turned off right now. That's why you can see no memory is consumed over there. So it is not like let's say over here, just imagine I have so many virtual machines, right? So every virtual machine might have 4 GB, 5 GB, 3 GB of RAM. If you make a sum of all them, then it will go more than 50 GB. Do I have 50 GB of RAM? No. I have only 16 GB of RAM, right? But RAM will get consumed only when you will power on them. That's why whenever we are working on lab, we have to be very cautious about the resources, because in lab you will not have enough resources ever. Okay, if you think that okay, whatever virtual machines I'm having right now, I can power on all of them, it's not possible. Tomorrow maybe you will make more virtual machines, so obviously you would not have 128 GB of RAM. So you have to shut down which are not in use right now. You have to power on which is required right now. That's it. Similar kind of stuff, guys, we have to follow on our in our production environment, and specifically in the cloud as well, because in cloud, that's how charges comes into the picture. Okay, more number of virtual machines you are running for so long time, obviously charges will be more, because that's how they charge per virtual machine, or you can say that on the based on the resource consumption. So if you will make like that of practice, it will be very easy for you guys. Okay, so use virtual machines whatever is required, otherwise shut down. Okay, now here, what kind of storage you have, that will be visible. Right now you can see local storage on my Zen server new lab. So what is this? This is the inbuilt hard disk in my Zen server, the photo which I sent you. So inside that hypervisor I have inbuilt hard disk of 500 GB that is showing over here. Here also you can see, guys, one thing. See, I have total space that is 500. But if you see over here, how much it is showing? Virtual allocation 1.4 TB. Do I have 1.4 TB hard disk in my Zen server? So then what is this? So there is a concept, guys, called as a thin virtualization. Okay, in that, what will happen? Let's say you have 10 virtual machines. Every virtual machine is having let's say 50 GB of hard disk size. So 50 GB multiplied by 10 become 500 GB. But is that 500 GB is really occupied? No. So in thin virtualization, what will happen? Whatever the space is required, only that much of space will be utilized. Remaining will be in a pending mode. Any another virtual machine, whosoever is looking for, they can utilize. Okay, so suppose, just imagine, let's say this is the DC machine over here, and what is the size of this? 32 GB I provided to this DC. This is my domain controller, I would have to say. So right now 32 GB I just provided, but is this in use right now? No. So anybody, any another virtual machine, whosoever is looking for, they can use this space. Even when I will power on this domain controller, if 32 GB is not required at the time, no problem. Another virtual machine, wherever requirement is there, they can use this. That's how thin virtualization or thin provisioning works. If it's not a thin provisioning, guys, if it's a thick provisioning, what will happen? Rigid space. You can take an example of your laptop. In your laptop, you might have 1 TB of hard disk, you might have 500 GB of hard disk. But is that 500 GB of hard disk is in complete utilization right now? No. Might be 200 GB free space. But can I use that free space from your laptop? No. Can anybody else use that free space from your laptop? No. So that is known as a thick provisioning, because it's rigid. It's only in your laptop. I can't use it. So that is the thick provisioning. Similarly, here also, if you will make thick provisioning, any virtual machine you provided 100 GB of hard disk, either it's in use or not in use, it is to completely allocate. So that is something which we don't do in virtualization field. We always do the thin provisioning. Clear this part, guys?
Nice.
Okay, because this is a very a very common question that can the resources will be overcommitted in hypervisor. So that's true. It can be overcommitted. You can see the live example over here itself where I was showing to you. Okay, you can see over here. I don't have 1.4 TB, but right now the estimation which is going on, if we do the summation of all the virtual machines, this is the allocation. So this is known as the overcoming. Okay. So apart from that, you can see removable storage on your hypervisor and DVD part. So this is something you attach any kind of USB device over there, so it will be appeared in this. Apart from that, what kind of another storage, guys? So if you have any another storage, SAN, NAS, or any kind of storage, you can add over here. We have option new storage. So whatever the options Zen server is supporting for you, although this is not your task, storage team will guide you what kind of storage they are providing, but at least you should have an idea. So here we have options. iSCSI is there, hardware HP is there, this. So whatever kind of storage you have, you can utilize that. Now the one which we utilize a lot, that is this one, ISO library, Windows file sharing, because to build up environment on this hypervisor, we require ISO files, correct? And those ISO files you need to kept into one folder wherever you want, maybe in one virtual machine, maybe in the laptop. The only thing is, the moment when you will keep in one folder, you have to share that folder, and IP of that machine or that virtual machine should be accessible so that I can access that folder. I will show you that part later. Then you comes to the networking. As I told you that I have only one network interface card in my hypervisor. In your environment, in production environment, people could have multiple network card over here. So if you have multiple network card, it will be appeared over here. So more information of network card you can see. Now here there's a one twist, guys. Might be you are aware, I'm not sure. You could have obviously multiple network card, as I told, and if you would like to make a NIC bonding, you can see here create bond. If you would like to make a NIC bonding, that will be something which is useful for load balancing purpose, high availability purpose. Then you should have all the network interface card of same configuration as well as of same vendor also. Okay. Suppose I have one NIC 0 over here, which is 1000, which can support 1000 Mbps speed, and this is this duplex vendor, this device, whatever the stuff. Okay. Now, if you are attaching another network interface card in your device, and that is something which is less than this or higher than this, you are not supposed to create a bond. Okay. So it's not only for network interface card. Wherever load balancing or high availability picture comes into this, there we should have all the all the components of same configuration. If you ask me that, okay, load balancing or high availability in Zen desktop, then that is also applicable in the same version. When you have same version, let's say 7.19, one server, another also 7.19, and all, sorry, both have same resources, let's say 24 GB of RAM, then you are absolutely fine to create a load balancing or high availability. So NIC bonding is something which is, we use a lot in production environment. Okay, but for that you should have a same configuration of another NIC card as well. And the benefit is, if one network card goes down, or if one network card is having high usage, or okay, then it can automatically divert the traffic on another network interface of card. Okay, so that's the benefit of your NIC bonding. Then this is the console, guys. Console in the sense of your hypervisor console. As I told that, remember that all these bare metal hypervisors have a small operating system kernel inside them. So this Zen server is based on Linux SUSE kernel. Similarly, VMware based on Red Hat kernel. So if you would like to, if you are a core hypervisor person, okay, then you can come to this console of hypervisor. And if you know Linux in and out, or if you know hypervisor, then you can work from here itself. Okay. So obviously, hypervisor team, obviously they are trained on Linux and they know hypervisor commands and every stuff, so they can work from here as well. Okay, performance. So you can see the your CPU, memory, and network performance or utilization graph from here itself, and you could take an idea where it is going for further. Okay, from here itself you can take. Users. Generally, this is not something people support. It is something like, okay, you can add your server license to enable Active Directory, or you can join your hypervisor also to your domain. Okay, so that you can add the users or add the administrator who can manage your hypervisor. But literally, I didn't see any project so far where people add hypervisor also into the domain. If you require, you can do, but I didn't see so far like that. Okay, so from here, right now we have a limited number of virtual machines. That's why you might get that particular use of this search button. But if in production environment where we have multiple virtual machines, and there, naming conventions would be very confusing. For example, it would be like this: Shiva Stream VM1, like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. So they follow a sequence in their virtual machine. So if that is the case, you can do a search over here. You can do filter and all those things. You can do the search part over here itself. Okay. Anytime you can shut down your hypervisor. You can reboot your hypervisor from here. And if this is the part of infrastructure view, if you go to the object view, then this is something which you can see in one shot. So all your Hype servers will be visible here. All your pools will be visible here. Virtual machines will go here. Snapshots will come over here. So this is the object view. So these are the objects we do have in any kind of hypervisor. Any, okay. So here, network card, virtual disk, whatever you have, you can see from here. Okay. And whatever alert or something is generated, that will come under the notification. So you can have a look over here. This is the only information which you will be able to see from Zen Center, or not only Zen Center, any kind of hypervisor. From the console perspective, this is the only information which you can have a look here. Apart from that, if you would like to do a deep dive, then obviously you should have a product knowledge, or you have to contact the hypervisor team, because they will look into the further logs and all through the command format and all inside the Zenser. Okay. Now, to create virtual machines in hypervisor, it's a similar way in any kind of hypervisor, guys. There's no difference at all. Okay, either you go for a Zen server, VMware, or Hyper-V, or any another. So it's the same way. If let's say this is the hypervisor over here, then I will go here, new virtual machine, and you will select inbuilt template over here. Okay. Uh, Let me explain you one thing, guys. Whatever the template you are looking over here, this one, okay, forget about the first one, which is having a different icon. Even you can see the similar one over here. This template and this template are totally different. This template I created, okay, and category also you can see the snapshot. Means this template is having every stuff. Windows 2012 is installed already in that template. How we made that template, that part I will explain later. But right now I'm just keeping the confusion away from here. Whatever the template you are looking at here, these are not actual template. These are just to provide you the basic information that, boss, if you are going to select Windows 10, Then whatever virtual CPU is required, how much minimum memory is required, that part of that kind of information will come from here automatically. So you need not to ask anywhere, okay, I'm going to create a Windows 10 machine. How many CPUs I have to provide? No, you need not to ask. Everything it will take care. Okay. So this is just a basic template to provide you the basic information or basic configuration. It is not having any ISO file. It is not having operating system. That is something you have to do. Okay. So for example, let's say I'm taking Windows 10 over here. So you will go next, provide the name, whatever you want, go next, and here you have to provide the ISO file wherever you have. Okay, wherever you kept the ISO file, there you have to provide the location. If you have anywhere on the network, boot from network, you can choose over here, and then you go next. Here it is showing you how much RAM is available right now in your hypervisor. Based on that, it will proceed further. And this is what I'm saying to you guys. So two virtual CPU, one socket with two cores per socket, 4 GB RAM. Did I provide this information? No. Automatically, this is coming from template. You would like to provide more from here, you are most welcome. If you think that, okay, this particular machine would have high load, I would provide 6 GB because my resources allow me. No problem. You can proceed further from here for 6 GB. But minimum requirement, at least it's helping me over there. Okay. Next, here storage means how much disk you would like to provide for this virtual machine, guys. Okay. So whatever you would like to do from here, either you would like to edit the existing one or you would like to add a new one, you can do it from here. So inside the virtual machine, it will be appear like a C drive, D drive, E drive, like that. Then go networking. So we have only one network card on my hypervisor. That's why it's appearing only one. If you would have multiple, it would show multiple over here. And rest is your choice, which one you would like to proceed next. And that's it. This is how we create a virtual machine. It's a typical same procedure on any kind of hypervisor. Either it's type 2 also, which is inbuilt on your laptop, like Workstation or Fusion. Similar, no difference. Okay. Now, here, first of all, you need to be aware about this part, guys. Okay. So generally, what happens, like, suppose I'm keeping, if you ask me where I have all my ISO files, because I required Desktop ISO also and Windows operating system ISO also. So I kept all my ISO file inside my domain controller. Okay, in one folder, I kept all my files and then I shared that folder. Similarly, you can do like wherever you would like to keep that folder, you can do that part as well. So for example, if I'm just imagine if I'm keeping over here on the desktop part, let's say this is the folder over here where I do have all my ISO files. So what I will do, I will go ahead and I will share this particular folder. Mm. Okay, so I will share this particular folder and I will provide the network access as well to whom I want. So right now here you can see everyone. So I will click on share, and this is the path which I was talking about. This path is also known as a UNC path, guys. So this is the path which you have to copy and provide inside the Zen Center. So this is my computer name. Instead of this computer name, you can, you can choose a IP address also of particular VM or a particular laptop or computer wherever you are keeping your ISO files. So it's up to you, but this is known as a UNC file path. So this path you have to copy and come back over here and just provide that path here. Okay, and then here you have to provide the credential to connect to that particular resource. Like if I'm providing that path over here, so that path is from my laptop, so obviously I have to provide username and password of my laptop over here to connect. So that's how we maintain the ISO library. So now inside this, now next time whenever you will come, you just come over here and you provide all the ISO files inside this folder. That's it. Automatically whatever you will keep there, it will reflect inside your ISO library. So this is how we make, and you can make multiple ISO libraries, whatever name you will give. There is no hard and fast rule on that particular name. It's up to your choice, whatever you would like to do it to differentiate. Okay. So once you have, it will be appeared over here, and you can see whatever ISOs you have. Right now, you can see it is having a cross mark, which is a clear indication that this ISO library right now is in disconnected mode. Why? Because of IP address. Whatever is being provided means the path, that path is not accessible. So you can see this is the path 192.168.1.13, and this IP address belongs to my domain controller, and right now my domain controller is shut down. So that's why this path is not accessible. Okay, and that's why I'm getting a cross mark over here. If you right click on library, if you will click repair also, it won't happen, because right now I can see that okay, domain controller is down. But if you don't know what is the problem, you can do repair this. This is one of the a simple and a beauty of Zen server to provide that kind of ISO library. In VMware, we don't have this kind of feature. In VMware, still we are following a typical structure where you have to go on each and every virtual machine setting, and there you have to provide ISO over there. Like that, we have to proceed. This feature is not there. So this is very convenient, very pleasant to see as well, that it's clearly indicating all that stuff over there. Okay. Now, whenever, let me tell you what about this 2012 template over here. So whenever we have to proceed for multiple virtual machine of similar kind of structure, guys. Okay. Right now, no Zen desktop. Again, I'm repeating, no Zen desktop right now. It is simple Zen server. On Zen server itself, just imagine I have to build five 2012 virtual machine. What will I do inside them? That is totally different. Okay. But I need 2012 virtual machines. I have some purpose. Just imagine. So whatever the common tasks are there, what are the common tasks? Let's say static IP or dynamic IP, and just power on the Windows firewall, and just do some antivirus scanning, and just change the wallpaper of the backend. So these are the stuff which I have to do, and this is the common task which I have to provide in all the five virtual machines. So one typical way is the one which I show you. Right click, create new virtual machine. So 5 times you have to do the same stuff. Now, if your Windows server, obviously, whenever Windows installation happens, it takes time. Let's say 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever, it's taking time. So, and as I told you also that it depends on your resources. If your resources allows, then might be five virtual machine you can configure at the same time. Five means, let's say 5 GB you are providing. So 5 multiplied by 5 is 25 GB of RAM you require at the same time just to configure them. Otherwise, do one and then wait for another one. Do one and then wait for another. So in that way, it is more time consuming as well. So what you can do is, you build one virtual machine as I show you, and do whatever the stuff you would like to proceed in that. Okay, do whatever you think that this is the common part which is supposed to be available in all the virtual machines, do that part. And after that, inside the virtual machine, go to C drive and run the sysprep. Where the sysprep is, let me show you in my laptop itself. So for example, you are going to C drive there, and then Windows, and then System32, and here sysprep, and this is the file, guys. Okay, so I think somebody asked this question as well during the theory part, that obviously if we are making multiple virtual machines, then their GUID should also be different. So this is the tool, guys, which allows your virtual machines to have a different GUID, although they are made from one master image. In this case, they are made from one template. So it's clearly stating over there that prepare the machine for hardware independence. So here what you have to select this generalized option always, and then choose reboot or shutdown from here. That's it. Okay. So what it will do, it will let's say you made one virtual machine in your hypervisor, you did whatever the changes are required, and after that you come and run the sysprep and make it shut down. Once you do it shut down, it will appear in this red color indication. After that, you have to right click and convert to template. The moment when you will convert to template, it will be appeared over here. Now what is the benefit? The benefit is, just imagine I have to create 5 virtual machines out of this template. So I need not to go in typical procedure, which is this one, new VM and all those things. I will just come over here, right click and do quick create. That's it. So the moment when I will do quick create, you can see over here it is going on. That's it. So it will not ask me further for the OS installation and all those stuff. Nothing will happen. Okay. So right now I removed the storage from here. That's why it is saying you that no hard disk over there right now. Okay. So, but this is the way to create multiple virtual machines of similar kind of stuff, and it is very quick. That's why name itself saying quick create. Okay. So once you will do a quick create, no OS installation will happen because everything is already there, and new virtual machines will be ready one by one, as many as you want. Same procedure is available in every hypervisor, guys. Name is different. Here we are saying template and all those things. In VMware, it is known as a clone. That's it. Okay. Similar way. Clear this part, guys? Any doubt? These are the basic stuff which is applicable for every hypervisor. So that's why you should be aware about all this. Any doubt? Any question? Okay. Okay, guys. So now, as I told you that to your infra servers, you are supposed to give a static IP. So this is one domain controller, okay, and this is one master image, and this is the one Zen desktop server. And as I told you, inside my domain controller, inside my Zen desktop server, I have all this stuff. I have a database, SQL Express, license server, storefront server, okay, everything inside the DDC itself. So DDC, obviously, I will show you the installation. What are the options are coming over there? Although in installation, you don't have to do anything, because that's the beauty of Citrix ISO, that they come with all the prerequisites whatever is required. Okay, so the moment when you will initiate the installation, automatically all the prerequisites will get installed in your machine over there. But at least you should be aware what are the options are coming. That's it. So let me power on my Active Directory server first over here. As you can see, guys, Active Directory server, I just gave 2 GB of RAM. Why? Because Citrix people are not supposed to do anything inside the Active Directory. Okay. The moment my machines are joined from the domain and authentication is going through for users as well, for computer account verification also, that's it. But if you ask me, do I'm doing any kind of work in Active Directory server manually? No, nothing. Okay, so that's why I just give 2 GB of RAM, because there is not much load over there. Okay, let it get power on here. One more thing, guys, that the performance of any virtual machine, it totally depends on the resources what you are providing. Same virtual machine right now, you might see that it will boot slowly. But if you provide 6 GB of RAM, it will boot fast. Similarly, virtual CPUs, if you are providing one, it might work slow. If you will provide more, then it will work fast. This is applicable in any kind of virtual machine. Okay, so wherever we feel that okay, it's working very slow, you can check the resources and you can see the consumption over it. Let me power on this as well. How much RAM I provided to this? 4 GB, because everything I have to do inside the DDC only. So that's it. Now, how this memory consumption and everything is going on, you can, from here, you can see, guys, that it is showing completely assigned memory 2 GB. Similarly, for DDC, complete 4 GB. But actual usage, if you like to see, you can come over here. And here you can have a look. So right now, okay, my CPU of hypervisor is not 100% utilized. So I'm on a safe zone. Whenever you see that your CPU is 100% utilized, then obviously you will see the, or you will feel the slowness on your hypervisor itself. Okay, then you have to find out which virtual machine is showing you the high CPU. You can shut down that particular virtual machine. Whenever any virtual machine got stuck in boot process due to so and so reason, then instead of green or red color, it will show you yellow color, and that is known as the ember state. So green color state means running, stopped, red color, and yellow color marked as a ember state means your machine is hung right now or it's in pending. So you have to force shut down that machine. Okay. Now let's see over here. So right now you can see my domain controller is up now. So if it is up now, then you can see the IP address got initiated. And if you would like to actually verify this IP address, you can see here 192.168.1.30. This thing you have to understand, guys, that uh, in virtual machine, as I told you, that all the resources, memory, network, hard disk, every resources are coming from hypervisor. So what does that mean? The resources on your hypervisor are actually shared among all the VMs. That's why the moment when you power on the virtual machine, immediately it will not show you IP address over here. Right now, if you ask me, let's say this is the machine. If you go to networking, it is showing you 112, but is this active right now? No, because this is powered off. The moment when I will power on this virtual machine, it will show over here as unknown. And then after some time when it will get initiated, IP address from physical hypervisor will uh, get shared to the virtual machine, then only it will get appear over here. So sometime it can take time, guys. Best example here. See, my DDC is still in boot process and it's booted right now, but it's still unknown. I can't take RDP of this machine as well. Okay, so after some time, based on performance of your hypervisor plus based on the performance of your virtual machine as well, it depends. Okay. So once this will come over here, you can take a RDP of this machine if you want, and then you can start working. Now, if you come to DC, let me log in there. So lab.com is my domain. And as I told you, all the installations you are supposed to do with domain admin only. Okay. Or if you are allowing any another administrator, then make sure he should be a part of domain admin group. Why I'm telling you this part, although you will not manage AD, but how AD people will come to know through you guys only. So you have to convey them that okay, so and so administrator is about to log in. Please add him into the domain admin. Okay, so this is my domain controller, guys. As I told you, we don't have to do nothing over here, but I'm just showing you few stuff. Guys, one question to you guys, like whenever you will make lab in your systems as well, are you guys aware like how to make domain controller? Did you work on Windows earlier? Otherwise, I can share some link to you where you can follow. It's pretty simple, but at least I'm asking. Do you have any knowledge
Yeah,
on that?
I mean, we did it a very long time ago, so I mean,
Mhm.
um,
No
prob-
worries. You guys can proceed for that, and if you guys stuck, let me know. I can share some link as well.
yeah, no, it's like a please share because
Yeah, sure. I will do. No worries at all. Okay, so here, this is the one Active Directory users and computer, okay, where you can see all your users and computers which are part of this particular domain. And from there itself, people manage their account passwords. They reset the machine account as well. So all that stuff they need to do from here itself. Okay. Few people, guys, in few projects, I would say they configure a DSCP server as well. DSCP server is the one which provide you the dynamic IP address when any machine boots. Okay, so sometime they configure DSCP as well on Active Directory server, but ideally it should not be on Active Directory. DSCP server people keep a separate altogether. Although you will not do, networking team will do that, but you should have an idea about it. Okay, so if people keep a DSCP or a DNS server would be there on Active Directory itself also, because the moment when you will make a domain controller, the first domain controller automatically will be a DNS server as well, which will resolve the your fully qualified domain name of your computer to the IP address or vice versa. Okay. So if you will maintain a DSCP on Active Directory itself, the problem is load will be high because of plenty amount of input output requests. So anyhow, your domain controller is handling a high load because domain controller is a backbone of your environment. So any kind of any user login, any machine login, every time it comes over here itself. So that's why people keep DSCP as a separate server. Might be you guys are aware DSCP, although it's a role actually. Let me show you some information also. DSCP and DNS server are the roles inside the server manager in Windows, where you can configure the role as you want and you can enable it. But in production environment, guys, they are using multiple DSCP server as well as DHCP server they are using, which is coming from a physical box. That, for example, there's a company, might be you guys are aware, Juniper is there, Cisco is there, and Infoblox is also there. Okay, so they are the one who are providing us physical servers as well for setup of DHCP and all those things. So although all these things depend what kind of environment you have, what kind of requirement you have. If you have a big requirement, then obviously think for big, because in everywhere cost involved and it's a high cost. Okay. So meanwhile, it is this is known as an inventory inside the server manager, where you can see this blue progress bar is going on. This inventory means that it is fetching information right now from your virtual machine. So once that is done, automatically it will show over here. Okay, so this is add remove roles. Go next over here. Next on same server. This is the one roles. So as I told you, the moment when you will make a domain controller at the same time, because for to make a domain controller, you have to enable this checkbox. Okay, and the moment you will do this checkbox, automatically DNS will also get installed, because that's how it works. And if you would like to make a DHCP as well, you can make this one itself. If you ask me, I'm not using the DHCP from this one. I'm using DHCP from my router at my home, which is providing me the Wi-Fi and every stuff over there. So there also vendor is providing me a DHCP. I'm using that one. So it's your call which one you would like to choose it. Okay. So these are the roles and features from here, which allows your Windows servers to react in that particular field. If you want to make a web server, then you can make it from here. If you would like to create a Hyper-V, you can make it from here. Hyper-V, which I told you, which is a window-based hypervisor. Okay. Now, this is your Active Directory users and computers, which will come into picture when your domain installation is done. And here you can see, guys, this is the part which I was talking about. This is the admin, okay, which is a domain admin. I'm using this particular account. If, because in production, I don't think so, 99% that you would be able to use this account, because as I told, managed by ADT, they won't allow. It's a very sensitive part. So what they can do is they can add your user, not user, they can add Citrix admin into this domain admin group with the permissions, whatever is required for them to do the access and all those things. So they can come over here and they can add to the group. So whosoever so and so users do you want to add, they can add over here. Okay. And all the computers, all the machines, whatever you join into the domain, those will be appeared over here. So right now you can see my DDC, my master, my PVS, my another machine also, they are joined over here. Without join to the domain, we are not supposed to proceed further, guys. Okay, and even you can't also, because you will not be able to communicate from one server to another server as well. So that is the only task which you have to which you are supposed to be aware from the DC, that okay, where my users and computers are going over there. That's it. Apart from that, you will not come over here, but let me show you where I kept my all the ISO files. As I told you, this is the one. Okay, so inside the E drive, I kept one folder, and over there I kept all my ISO files, and then I shared this folder. That's it. So this is the path which I'm using outside. Okay, over there. Now let me come to another machine. Just a second. this machine. Hmm. I'm not able to come out from this virtual machine. Just a second, guys. Okay, now it's done. Okay, so now this is another machine. So now you can see over here, IP address is appeared and on the console. So this is one of the stuff, guys. Might be you are aware that on RDP machine works better. That's why generally we take a RDP of virtual servers and then we work. So for RDP, if you would like to take a RDP from outside, like the generic method MSTSC, you can do from that also. No, there's no problem in that, no harm also. Okay. Or if you don't want to do like that, you have here itself switch to the remote desktop. If you want to do, then you can connect like this. And now, because my path is enabled now, because my IP address is accessible now, so what I can do, as I explained you earlier, I can do repair. So right now you can see unplugged, but the moment I will do repair, it might get plugged if everything is fine. So it's saying unable to found the directory in this configuration request. And the reason I know, because I changed the password of my domain admin. Okay, that's why it is not allowing me. So what I can do is I can go ahead and I can make a new one. Window ISO library. Let me make it as a August ISO library. Next, and here I will provide the path 92.168.130 ISO. So it is saying this particular storage is already attached to the first pool. That's why it is not allowing me. So what I can do is I will come over here and I will do forget, because password got changed and I can't renew the password in the existing one. So that's why I did it. Now here I will come and do the new storage. Now it will allow me. August ISO library 192.168.130. So, okay. Here, as I told you, I will provide the username and password to connect this IP address. So that's my domain. Okay. So now it's created and you will not see any another red mark over here. So whatever ISO I have, I can have a look here. Now, how will you attach these ISO files to any of the virtual machine? That is pretty easy part here. Simple. You come to any machine, let's say this is the one, and here you can see this virtual DVD drive, right? So here, if you will click on this arrow, whatever ISO files you added, like this, August ISO library, everything is visible here. Now, what I want this one, 7.19. So I attach this ISO here. That's it. Now just imagine this is 2012 R2 machine, as I told you, and what are the stuff I told in theory part? Same thing. You have to provide static IP joined to the domain, and after that you are supposed to install your Zen desktop over here. So we'll come over here. Okay, this is the ISO file. As I told that earlier name was like Zen Desktop, Zen App, Zen Server. Now from I think 7.18 onwards, name got changed now. Uh, because now Zen App and Zen Desktop is no more a different product, it's the same product. Okay, so that's why they modified it, and now the name is Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop. Okay, that's why you can see the name is CVAD, Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop. Okay, and if you will come here inside the ISO file, which I was telling you, every prerequisite are there, whatever is required. See, everything is there. .NET version, monitor, SQL Express edition, another C++ runtime, every configuration, everything is there. So you are not supposed to do anything. Just you do that, come over here, do auto select so that it will allow you for the installation, and that's it. Then this installation will go on for maybe 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, multiple reboot might it happening. Why? Because of the .NET installation. If .NET is already there in your machine by any reason, then obviously it will take less time. Okay, but installation wise, pretty neat and clean, nothing much. So this is that part which we have to install over here, guys, a delivery controller, okay, which as I told you, DDC or Zen Desktop Server, whatever the name you would like to give. Okay. And in the same machine, obviously, as I told, I am having storefront as well, license server also. So where you can see all those parts, right now don't focus on this one, VDA, because VDA I'm not supposed to install here. VDA I will install in master image, but I have to insert the same ISO file there itself. So that's why I come here, delivery controller. So just click on the components, and here what you have to you should know what are the options coming over there. That's it. So these are the options, guys. Right now it is showing you the will be removed. Why? Because they are installed. Otherwise it will show you about that the installation is ready for the addition. So delivery controller option, studio, director, license server, storefront. I told you guys that it will not give you any option for database. Okay, because either you have a separate DB or not. But SQL Express edition will get installed by default. You use it or don't, that is your choice, but it will get installed by default. That's how Citrix and Desktop works, because it has some dependency on that. So that's why there's no option over here to uncheck or to remove like that, nothing. Okay, so here whatever you want you can do it. Just imagine in production environment what we do. We install this part, and this part in one machine. License server, different machine. Storefront, different machine. So if you have to set up a license server on a different machine, same thing you have to do. Insert this ISO file in that virtual machine, and instead of checking all the boxes, just check the license server. That's it. Similarly, if you want to set up a storefront on a separate machine, then insert the ISO and just check the storefront. So these are the options, guys, which I was telling you. After that, nothing is there. You will do next, and then installation will get started. Then it will take one by one all the prerequisites from the folder, which is inside the ISO itself, and then it will proceed further. One thing during the installation, you have to be pretty sure. Never ever try to install manually from these folders, guys. The reason behind, there are a lot of prerequisites, as well as there's a chain behind the installation, that okay, one by one it will happen. First time .NET will happen, then C++ will go on. Like that, there are multiple sequences. If you will install manually, for example, you come over here and you thought, okay, a Zen desktop installation I will do from here. So here Zen desktop setup, you can see you can do it from here itself, Zen desktop install. But that is not a good practice. You might end up into a situation where you have to uninstall every stuff, and sometimes it's stuck also, and we have to use Microsoft Doctor cleanup fix it to remove every entry. So that's why we are not supposed to do the single setup from here. We have to run this part, auto select, as I show you, so that automatically one by one it will take care. But these part you need to be aware, because sometime it happens. Let's say your desktop studio got corrupted due to so and so reason. Now you are not going to run entire setup again. What do you have to do? You have to just run the desktop studio setup again. You will come over here and simply run all these 3 files. Okay. Similarly, just imagine that your storefront is not working. So you will come and run this file only on the storefront server. Okay. Similarly, let's say your director is not working. Come over here and run this file only for director. That's it. So that's why you should be aware what are the stuff Citrix is providing you inside the ISO, because it's a complete ISO. Everything is there itself. So that's the reason. Clear, guys, this part? Any doubt? Anybody? Bhakt, Ibrahim, Noor, any doubt so far? Although it's just the basic stuff, but if you guys have. No? Okay then, let me go further. So as I told in the theory part, same channel is going on. So once this installation means done, after that you have to open a console, which is Citrix Studio.
This CV,
Yeah, tell me.
CVAD, we are installing it on our laptop.
Sorry? Yeah, come again, please.
This CVAD, is it installed on the server?
Yes,
or it
server.
is on our personal laptop to console?
No, not personal laptop. CVAD is what? It's a Zen desktop. As I told, that the name got changed now. Earlier ISO name was Citrix Zen Desktop ISO, but now product name itself got changed. Now the product name is Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop. Okay, so it's not it is not supposed to install in personal laptop. We are making a infrastructure. That's what it is supposed to make into a in a virtual machine, or as I told you, if you remember the theory part, it can be physical server also. So in your laptop, you don't have server operating system, right? In your laptop, what operating system you have? Desktop, Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8, like that. But this is not supposed to install on desktop. This is supposed to install on server OS. So in your laptop or any physical machine which is having Windows Server OS like 2012 or 2008 R2 or 2016, whatever it support prerequisite, there you can install, because it's a server component, not desktop component. Clear, Ibrahim?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, boss. So this is the one which I was talking to you, that Citrix Studio, with this is the console to manage Zen desktop infrastructure. Now, if you ask me that do we manage from here Zen server? No confusion, nothing. Okay, this is to manage Zen desktop. infrastructure, and Zen Center we use to manage Zen server infrastructure. Okay, so these are two different stuff, because sometimes people have confusion. That's why I'm giving force on that. Now, in the Citrix Studio, if you guys remember, I told first time when you open the console, what you have to do? You have to make 3 connections: host connection, DB connection, and license server connection. So you come to the host part here, and here you will connect the host. And here you will understand this part, that why we require hypervisor actually. Okay. So you can see guys here, I made so many, host connection for my different batches and all, but there is no limit. Okay, there is no limit. And here I connect multiple hypervisors as well, as I told you. So in your environment, if you have 10 hypervisor, 5 are VMware, 5 are Zen server, it's fine. And if my Zen desktop is reachable from every hypervisor, I can connect over here. There is no problem in that. Okay, so let me go here, add connection and resources, and here you will see. First, we'll create a new connection. Okay. See guys here. So whatever the hypervisor is listed over here, only those hypervisors I can choose for my infrastructure. Citrix, Microsoft SCVMM, which is Hyper-V, VMware vSphere, which is the ESXi, Cloud Platform, Azure, Amazon EC2, which is AWS. That's it. That's the reason, guys. If you remember the first class, I told you that we can't, make a VMware Workstation as my hypervisor. We can't make Oracle VirtualBox as my hypervisor. We have to do some like some twist over there, but direct, if you ask me, no. Why? Because I don't have any supportability over here. Because whatever hypervisor I have supportability here, only those hypervisors will be applicable to accommodate the virtual machine, which will be created by Zen desktop. Okay. Now you connect Citrix hypervisor here, and guys, one more thing. As I told you that every hypervisor have their own way to connect. So if you ask me about VMware vSphere, then here this is the way to connect the VMware. So here you have to provide the address of your vCenter server, and here in Citrix hypervisor, this is the way to connect. Here I will provide IP address of my master Zen server of my pool. Okay, so in my case, I have 192.168.1.11. Give a name over here. So let's say August new connection, and obviously this host connection I'm going to choose for MCS, so that I can create further virtual machines on top of it. That's why I'm going further. So now it is trying to connect with my hypervisor on this IP address with the help of host service. So what is saying? It is saying that check the connection was a valid host address. So what does that mean? It means that the way I provided this IP address is not correct over here. So let me try only with HTTP 168.1. Let's see. Yeah, now we are connected. So now we are connected with the hypervisor with the help of Citrix host service. Now here it is showing me that what kind of storage you do have with your hypervisor. So shared storage or local storage. In my case, I do have a local storage. If you guys have shared storage, you can choose the first option. Okay. Now go next. And here it will show you what are the storage you do have on your hypervisor. So in my case, I have only one storage. If you would have multiple, you can select the storage, which one you are looking from there. And the benefit is whatever storage you will choose, it will push your virtual machine in that storage itself. So that is the purpose behind it, because whatever storage we have on hypervisor, only those storage are getting shared among virtual machines. So that's why. Okay. Similarly, network. I have only one network card, as I show you on my hypervisor. Same is visible over here. And I told you earlier in the theory part that combination of storage and network is known as a resources. So here you just give the name, August new resources, and then go next. Okay. Forget about the scope option, guys, because this part I have to explain later on in big detail. So forget about this right now. Go next, and then click on finish. So now it is going to create a host connection with my hypervisor. So this is how you have to make resources there. So if you remember, I give an example of Australia and India users, right? So which storage and network combination. So this is the way to provide. Now inside the same connection, if you would like to add a new resource as well, let's say this is the one you provided for, let's say India. Now for Australia you want to provide. So come again with the same, and instead of go create new connection, use the existing connection, and then simply go next. And then if you have any another storage and network, then select the storage and network and give the another name, whatever you would like to identify. Okay. So this is how you can make different resources from same host connection if you have multiple. Otherwise, no point at all. Okay. Anytime you feel that this particular host connection is having a problem, this one you can do the test. So if you remember, I told you there's a service called as the environment test service. So this is the way how it works. So here I got one failed test. Now what is that? You click on show report and it will appear for you. So this is the reason, guys, that if you are aware about the work of each and every service, then it will be very easy to you for understanding. So you can see here, check the detail of hypervisor connection and run test specific to the target, and this is test field. It means I don't have any specific issue right now going on. Okay, if there is any issue related to the certificate or what do you say, authentication issue, then it will show you over there that there is an authentication problem. Okay, now the next connection which you have to do, either DB or license, whatever you choose. Okay, so this is, I'm making a license connection over here. So license connection, wherever you have license server, in my case I have on the same machine, but in your case wherever you have license server doesn't make any impact here, because we have to follow in the same procedure. Now how this licensing works and all, I will explain you guys, because don't go with this what is user device model and all those things. I will explain you later. But this is how you can make your connection with the license server. So right now my license server is the same, which is ddc.lab.com. If you have any another, provide there, and 27,000 is the port number where it connects with the license server. Okay, we can change this port also, but we'll show you all those stuff in licensing class. Okay, so this is how we can connect, we can do the license connection from here. Now if you have any license and all, we can allocate, we can add over here, and what kind of license you have we can choose from here, but all those things we'll explain in the license class. So host connection, license connection, then you comes for the DB connection. So DB connection you can see from here. Okay, guys, just give me 2 minutes. I'm coming back. Okay? I'm just taking a water break. Just okay, guys, I'm back here. Okay, so this is the part where we do the DB connection and all those stuff. So as I told you that if you have any other server, and because generally it happens in production environment, people are having a dedicated DB server, physical server. So no worries. You can use your DB server over here for whatever you want. I have a SQL Express, that's why I gave the name. If you have any another one, you can just provide there. Now here you have to understand one thing that from the database perspective, we have three database instances. One is for site, another one is for logging, and another one is for monitoring. Site database, all the services are connected to the site database. Logging database is only being used by the configuration logging service, if you guys remember. And monitor database is used by only monitoring service. Okay. So this is the good part which is actually involved from 7 series onwards. Earlier, this was not the case. Earlier, there was only one database and all the services were connected to that database only. So if that database goes down, you don't have any other option. But now here, at least just imagine if your monitoring DB is down, your site DB is still working. Your logging DB, let's say your site and monitoring DB both are down. At least your logging DB is working, and database, with the help of database team, you can find out from the database what is the issue going on. So that's a benefit from 7 series onwards, that we have three database instances for our Zen desktop environment. Now here you provide your database name, and here you will give your whatever the database name you want to provide. Let's say I'm giving test. Now this is the main concept, guys, which you have to understand. The moment you click test and you will click OK, what will happen? Just imagine this is the database server, let's say sql.lab.com, means another one, another server. The moment you click OK, it will try to touch that particular server, and it will try to verify your account. Which account? Through which you are logged in this DDC right now. So in this DDC, I am logged in with lab/administrator, means domain admin. So that domain admin server should have permission for your domain, or sorry, for your database to work. And inside the database we have different permission like this: db admin, db owner, and db creator. If any admin inside the database have these permissions, then he and she can connect easily. But database team doesn't provide like that. Like AD, database is also a backbone of your environment. So they have a dedicated team for that. So that's why most of the time it happens that you don't have access. So if you will click OK, it will give error. So instead of that, click here, generate database script, as it's clearly written here. If you don't have permission to edit database, generate a script. Oh, sorry. What was that? ddc.lab.me. ddc SQL Express. Okay. Here, if you will click OK, if you will click on generate database, then it will go, and these two scripts will get created. You need not to do anything with the script, guys. The moment you will click on the button, automatically two scripts will get created. You just provide these two scripts to the database person. That's it. He will execute these two scripts on the SQL Studio, and database will get created. Okay. First script is for database creation. Second script is for mirroring purpose. So inside the database server, we have a mirroring option, right? So that high availability can be achieved. So for that purpose. So these two scripts you can provide to the to your database administrator, and he will do it. Okay. Clear this concept, guys? Database part. Any doubt? But Ibrahim, any doubt here? I think Noor is left for the day.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay, so this is how you connect with the database, and even same thing you can verify from registry as well. As I'm talking, as I'm telling you that all the services in Zen Desktop are connected with database, so you can see here as well. Okay, so these are the services over here: host service, license service, monitor service, and all, which we were discussing. Okay, so all these services have a DB connection, and they made entry inside the registry also. So here if you go, HKLM software, WoW64, Citrix, and sorry, not here inside WoW64, it's outside here. HKLM software, Citrix, and here if you see this Zen Desktop services, XD services. So here inside all these services have DB connectivity. Let's say AD identity service you open, you connect data store, click on connection, and you can see here it is connected with this one. And what is the name? Citrix news site. Okay, So initial catalog, guys, don't be confused. This is not the catalog Zen-Desktop. This is the terminology of your database server. Okay. So initial catalog inside the database is known as a database name. So my database name is Citrix new site. Okay. Similarly, if you check any other service, let's say configuration schema service, so it is also connected. Okay. So this is also the way to verify. Now, guys, why I'm showing you all this information? Because whenever we have to do database migration, then guys, from the studio perspective, you would not be able to do much. For that purpose, if you know PowerShell scripting, then you will be able to do a lot. Otherwise, in Citrix, nowadays, not only in Citrix, any stuff you go for Windows platform, all the Linux also, but for Windows platform nowadays, if you know the PowerShell automation, you can do much. Because as you can see here, whatever stuff you are doing, everything at the back end is going in a PowerShell format. See here. Let me click on this. So right now, what we did, we created one host, right? So everything is going into the PowerShell format here. See, whatever stuff you do, everything is going to this PowerShell format only. Okay. So that's why from the internal perspective also, for DB migration perspective also, or for any kind of stuff, if you know PowerShell automation, then you can do much. If you don't know, then obviously you need to take a help of PowerShell automation person. Now the point here is, do we have any direct option for the DB migration? Answer is simple no. There is no direct option inside the Zen-Desktop to do the DB migration. So let me show you guys. So anytime if requirement comes and somebody says, okay, DB is supposed to be migrated, although there are so many purpose, okay, to use the PowerShell behind this, but I'm showing you the major one which comes very frequently, because there are plenty amount of services we have in Zen-Desktop, and as I show you, all the services are connected with the database, right? So if I have to migrate DB on a new server, obviously what will you do? First, you will take a backup of existing database, correct? And then you will restore that backup on another server, correct? Once you will restore the backup on another server, after that, all the services which are connected to the current database server right now, you have to delete those entries and you have to make new entries. Okay, so for example, here, if you see, okay, so get broker DB connection, it's showing you that, okay, you are connecting with the brokering database. Which database is this? Same Citrix new site. So if I have to migrate, what I have to do, I have to run almost 30 to 35 commandlets are there, which we have to run first to nullify the connection, and then we have to point out to the new connection. But that is a very sensitive part, guys. If you don't know PowerShell, no need to touch, because if something got broken, environment will get immediately down. Immediately, it will not take much time. Okay, because everything is going in through with database only. So if database is not connected, we are out of state from that. So that's why. So similarly over here, if you see get config DB connection. Okay, so like that, I can show you one article as well on the Citrix where they are showing, okay, there are plenty amount of to make nullify and then to point out with a new connection as well. Okay. Now, DB part you saw from there as well as you saw from the registry. But if you think that you would have access to have a look on the tables inside the database, hardly possible, guys. Hardly possible. until or unless you are not a, like on a consultant or architect kind of level, where your manager, senior manager allow you that, okay, they trust that you have a DB knowledge, then only you can go to the database and you can see the tables. Otherwise, you are not allowed to do that part. Clear, guys? Okay. So this is the basic stuff which we have to do from here. So as I told in the theory part, similar here. So first, after the installation of Zen Desktop, you open the studio and then you made 3 connection: host, license, and DB. Correct? After that, we have to make our master image ready. Once our master image ready, then only we can come back over here, and what we will do, we will create a catalog further. Clear? Once we will create a catalog, guys, then I will show you the architecture behind the VDA communication with DDC, which is also known as a registration. So we will go step by step, so that this particular uh, pathway will get crammed in your mind as well. Then there will not be any problem, because you will be connected with this all the time. But if you will do here and there, then definitely you will miss the path. So that's why just go with the same steps, guys. Okay. So master image creation I will not do today because it will not be completed. So we'll do in our next class. Meanwhile, you just go through this video, guys. It's really important. And any doubt, let me know, please. So Bhakt and Ibrahim, do you have any doubt from today class before closing this call?
Are we going to do the installation today?
Master image installation? No, in the next class we'll do.
What about the Citrix CVSD?
Uh,
CVAD.
yes, CVAD installation I show you right in my lab. But if you want to do in your lab, I will share the ISO and everything with you guys, and then you can proceed further. Okay.
By any chance, do you have a SOP for this?
Uh, Sorry, your voice is breaking.
SOP, do you have an SOP, step-by-step procedure?
No, no, I don't have any SOP for that. But what I'm saying is, you just when you will make an installation, okay, you just follow my video, okay.
Okay.
Whatever the step by step I show you, this is the step only. There is nothing else apart from this. There is nothing else. Similar way you have to follow. That's it. So
Okay.
if you can download, do you guys have Windows ISOs at least?
I do have Windows 10 ISO.
Okay. Apart from that, server ISOs and all.
That means
No.
that is the only one I have. Means the long time ago I did downloaded VMware ESXi and vSphere, but that was when I
Okay.
bought this server.
No. Okay. No worries. So I will create a link. Windows Server 2012. Anyhow, you can download from the Microsoft site. There is no big deal in that. But Citrix ISO I will provide to you, because Citrix ISO without login they won't allow. So and
Yeah,
for
that's what
login,
I see a message here. When I went to the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop 7.19 TSR, it is asking me sign in to access restricted downloads.
correct. Yeah, that's why. That's why.
But is it? I may have an account or I may create one, but that will allow me to do this.
You can try if you have any account. You can try. No worries. Yeah, definitely. So
But just provide me an ISO that I do not have to.
yeah,
Meanwhile, I type.
that's what I'm saying. See, Windows ISO easily possible. There's no harm in that. You can download from Microsoft site. That is no access required.
Which one I
And
need? Windows 2012?
yeah, 2012 R2.
R2, server
2012
2012.
R2. Yes, 2012 R2. That will because if you will go to, let me show you the prerequisite. If you want more information, you can come over here. So always prefer in this way, guys. Citrix and Desktop 7.19 prerequisite. because before proceeding further, if we have information about prerequisite, that will be better. So although this is for 7.15, but it's all like similar for 7.19 also. So you can see here. So even they are giving you the prerequisite for studio as well. Like wherever you have a studio, at least 1 GB RAM is required just only for a studio to up and running. For director, at least 2 GB of RAM. Complete Zen desktop altogether, at least 5 GB of RAM. So like that you can see. So this is the one which I am telling you guys. So delivery controller 2000 R2, only SP1 edition is supported, but I won't suggest you to go for this. It's better you come on this part 2012 R2 because it works very smooth with the Citrix now. Because okay, this is 7.15 and the one we are doing, that is 7.19, far ahead from this. So download this part 2012 R2. Similarly, database, even SQL Server 2017 edition is also supported now. So this is the one. Okay.
But we don't
So
need
when,
it. It is
no,
already
we don't
pre-installed.
need it. Yeah, we don't require. So that's why only Windows and SQL. That's it.
R2.
Oh, okay. Sorry, not SQL. Windows and Citrix ISO. Only these two are required. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So Windows you download. Citrix I will share with you guys. Okay.
Okay. Can you just send me the link now or?
No, it will take time because Citrix ISO is I think 3 GB. I have
Okay.
to upload on somewhere and then I will provide you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Anyhow, now we have shared drive. I will share the link over there and then you can download. Okay.
Okay, buddy. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much, and we will connect on Wednesday. Whatever your timing will be, I think Tuesday evening. Okay.
Tuesday at 10 p.m. EST. So you are
Yeah, yeah,
here
Here
7:30
it will
evening.
be 7:30 morning time Wednesday.
Yeah. Thanks. Have a
Okay.
wonderful day.
Yeah. Okay, guys. See you too. Bye bye.
Bye.